Alright, let's talk about Assassin's Creed. So, this is Magic's new Universes Beyond product, and I'm very happy to say I was hired on to be part of the creative text team that wrote for it. Part of the reason for that is I am as obsessed with Assassin's Creed lore as I am with Magic. So, today I'm going to talk about the first Assassin's Creed game and give you a little bit of background into the series if you're not familiar with it. And then in subsequent videos, I will talk about the cards in the set and how they relate to their individual games. In the first Assassin's Creed game, you played as Altair. Altair was a 12th century assassin during the Crusades in the Holy Land. At the time, the assassins operated from their home base, a citadel called Masyaf, and they were led by an older man, simply known as Mentor or Al-Mualim. Altair is a high-ranking assassin who is stripped of all his titles after his arrogance shows himself and he breaks the creed. In order to regain his standing, he's tasked by the Mentor to kill the leaders of various armies or organizations in the Holy Land. And it turns out as you play the game that this group is the Templars. Quite literally the Knights Templar at this period of time. Throughout the game, we learn that there was a precursor to humanity called, I think, just the first civilization in that game, but later they're given the name the Isu. They were godlike compared to humanity, and a lot of their memory is what was translated into our god myths. Altair ends up defeating all of the Templars, only to find out that the call was coming from inside the house. That his mentor had sent him on this quest to eliminate his co-conspirators and claim a valuable Isu relic, the Apple of Eden, for himself. And at the end of the game, you're forced to kill Al-Mualim, the mentor, and Altair becomes the mentor of this chapter of the Brotherhood. The cards Propaganda and Mortify reflect this twist at the end. Now, in between playing Altair, you also have a modern-day frame story where you play a character named Desmond Miles. Desmond was kidnapped by a company called Abstergo and is currently being forced to do experiments with a device they have called the Animus. The Animus, note this is a newer version, not the version you see in that game. The Animus is a device that can read genetic DNA, basically ancestral memory, and it reconstructs history in your mind as you use it. So a lot of sort of the weird digital stuff you see is the computer trying to translate this genetic memory. And if you break history by losing a mission or dying or something like that, the Animus desynchronizes and it boots back up from where it was. That's this restart sequence. None of this is time travel, I should note. This is all basically a computer extrapolation of the past based on, weird pseudoscientific sci-fi stuff. There are a few mainstays that are true for most, if not all, of the games. One is the assassins typically have these hooded outfits, generally with like an eagle's beak point on the hood. The hidden blade is an iconic piece of assassin history, although how it's been used has varied over the years. This is typically how you get a stealth kill in the game. To open up or reveal more stuff of the map, you generally have to climb a large tower and do like what's called a viewpoint synchronization. This has been true for a lot of the games so far. I believe the newest one, Shadows, is doing away with this, though. Many of the assassins you play as are of a bloodline that has elements of genetic manipulation from the Isu, and so they have like semi-sixth sense powers, which basically translates to gameplay being able to highlight your target or the things you're looking for, or just having better than usual senses, represented in-game by the eagle vision. In some games, this is replaced by like a bird familiar companion thing that flies around and can spot things for you. And a big element of a lot of the stealth is social stealth, becoming anonymous again. This card in particular represents Altair blending in with a group of monks. And this is how you get past guard checkpoints and things like that. Another big note is that when you leap off those towering viewpoints or off any building, generally you're going to want something soft beneath you, and the haystack is kind of the iconic thing that these assassins do their leaps of faith off tall buildings into, usually accompanied by like an eagle screeching sound. The Animus also has the side effect of the more you do it, the more you innately have some of your ancestors' traits. So after following all of Altair's memories, Desmond starts to be able to have eagle vision himself. After following Ezio, who I'll get to in another video, he starts to have actual real combat skills with very minimal training. Now, at the heart of all of these games is a conflict between the assassins, who are very anti-tyranny and kill tyrants or people who abuse their power, but try not to otherwise meddle in politics, and the Templar Order, who is very much about order, but take it to a very tyrannical, sometimes mind-controlly extreme. And you are generally thrown into these games, and these instances are being looked at in the Animus because there's some Isu artifact or some ancient technological thing that people are looking for, and that's part of the modern day frame story. At the end of the original game, Desmond realizes there's something more going on here and starts to formulate how he's going to escape from this place. And we learn that Abstergo is the corporate wing of the Templar Order in the modern day, and that the assassins still exist, and in fact, Desmond's father is the current mentor. He grew up thinking he was in a cult, and he left to become like a barista. He broke away from his family, and Abstergo found him and is using him because they can't get to any of the rest of his family who have the genetic memories of finding these artifacts that they need. All right, and with that, I'm going to move on to Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation next time, maybe even 3 if I have time. These games, up until Assassin's Creed 3, follow Desmond Miles in the frame story, so they tend to go together.